Unity was taking like a while to start up. I'm not like broadcasting the music over the stream separately, so hopefully it doesn't sound too terrible. But it's just going to be going through the mic because it seemed easier for me than putting the headphones on. That's too much. It's too much talking shop. Anyway, hello, Trevor Newton. How are you doing today? I believe the last thing we were doing was trying to get this to work yesterday, trying to get this to line up properly. And I'm thinking it does have to do with the fact that the off-screen buffer quad is not at 0, 0. I just think it has to do with that, and the fact that my projection matrix is not right either. Let's see, so my guess is, well, that looks right, so home sick from work. It's no good. So let me try this. Let me just try turning off the oblique projection and see whether it works. Okay, so without the oblique projection, it works perfectly, right? So that means that it's got to have something to do with that oblique projection. My guess is that it has something to do with this. It doesn't quite, though. Like, I guess the when it does the lookup for the point, I'm assuming what it does is that it goes through this projection matrix instead of through the regular one. I could just not do the oblique projection and just figure this other stuff out without it. It certainly would solve that problem. I'd have to adjust the character though, but I'd have to figure out like the depth type things without having that. Like you notice, for instance, those don't have depth, whereas if I put the oblique projection on, they do. Okay, so I'm just going to try to adjust this to where it's right. Interesting. Oh. Of course it doesn't pick it up. Okay, so it's still like, still too... Okay, so we need to try like -5. No, that's not far enough. -7. -8. Magic numbers. Like that works, but then... Okay, that looks actually right, but... Oh wait, no, the oblique projection's on. Oh, okay, it works now. I just had to line that up. For some reason it wasn't lined up. It looked lined up. Like it looks lined up here, but I guess in game it's not really, so... Because in game, like, this is... keeps that at the same spot, which is what I want anyway, so... It does seem like it's not going to project three-dimensionally. So it may actually still just be doing an orthographic projection, but at least it will work. But yeah, I'm sorry, Trevor Newton, that you're sick. That sucks. Alright, so player is doing this. We're drawing the line here, and we're testing the point. Just feel like the name of this should be something better. It should be like this. Okay, so I need that. I also need like somewhere I've got the A button thing. Oh, here we go. Hit test collider, toggle tile, if controller button. A button. Okay, so I need basically that. It's like this. Yeah, that's kind of how I am when it comes to being sick and work. At this point, I just don't go in if I'm a little bit sick, because I just don't want to make other people sick. Here we go. So I need... What do I need? Oh yeah, I need to... Actually, I just need to go in here and check input. Let's see, I've got moves, and I've got yeah, I'll probably have to replace all this at some point, because I have like a million things. I'll just do like mouse click. I don't know. Key or mouse button. So I guess I go, is it left mouse? Is it mouse button 1? Oh, this is part of why this old system kind of sucks. Let's see. Let's look up input. mouse 0. Okay, so it'd be like mouse 0. Okay. I'll just go mouse click button. I don't know. Add that to my controller. It's supposed to be get button. Excuse me. This input is pretty bad. This input system. So then we do like hello PAX Pete. I'm not sure how to exactly call you. Let's see. So that would be left mouse button. Okay, so let's see. Mouse left button. Well, we'll go left mouse button. Alright. Facial. And left mouse button does not exist because it's controller dot. Wait, no, I don't. I just haven't added it. Should probably just go ahead and add a right mouse button too. Got it there. Might not use it, but so that should allow you to toggle these now. Oh, problem is it is returning every time. So it must be get button down is actually the thing I want, because I just want it on the first click. Cool. Those are all locked for some reason. Problem is that these will respond as well. So you can actually solve any puzzle right now by just using the mouse. There's no need to use anything else. It's good to be able to use the mouse to solve puzzles. But maybe not great that you can use it to solve the floor ones. So I possibly just need to set up a different message is all. It kind of like prevents your ability to prevent the player from doing certain puzzles that are supposed to be physical puzzles. So maybe I don't want that. I don't know, it's kind of nice, but it was kind of the idea that you would do these all this way. That does make the game at this point, I believe, grossly playable, though. I think you can play most of it. Actually, there's only one place I know you can't play. It's down here. So I'm not sure how to fit back into the area it came out of, because I pulled it out of here. Oh, I need to turn off the screen buffer. I pulled it from right here because I wanted to stick this branch out here of puzzles, and so I'm pretty sure it won't fit there. Also have to admit that I don't exactly know how my my snapping works anymore. Okay, I guess it just works. I don't have to do anything. I thought I had a... Okay, so I have like the regular control key too that just snaps everything to a fixed grid. Because otherwise when I move this, theoretically everything is not necessarily going to snap at the same, so it could screw up. Unity is being annoying. Typically in Unity it's hard to move a lot of things at once. But I think that it doesn't fit here is the problem vertically. So I can either bring this all down. That's probably what I should do, is just bring all of this stuff down. Means that it's more likely to overlap with the starting area, but if it gives it room. The snap on this is set really low, isn't it? Yeah, it is. You can't see anything. What? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Let me see what's going on with that, because I'm not sure why that is. Okay. Should be good now, I hope. Let me pull this over. I really don't. I'm not sure why it did that. It looks right, I guess, now, to me. Yeah, nice. You're supposed to be able to see what I'm doing. Sorry, I moved to the OBS screen to the other monitor so that I could see it. But It's probably because I had to switch the main monitor earlier. I just didn't know that the stream had stopped seeing anything. I'm gonna see if that fits in here now. It still doesn't. Jesus. Just barely doesn't. If I move it like down like that, it'll fit. It's probably doable. I just wanted to attach this area back to where it's supposed to be in the world. I do not know why the snap on this guy is set so low, but it's set really low. Yay, you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so, yeah, because I kind of like that area to actually be attached to everything so that the whole game, such as it is now, is one area, even though it's like, I don't know exactly how that's all going to work. Okay, so, now I have to solve, the technical problems of having the two panels not. I guess that is good for you because it probably means that you didn't get all those puzzles spoiled as I was fiddling around with this. So, like I said, you can do this now, so that's definitely a thing. I don't have it set up to where you can just roll over. Which would probably be nice if you could just click and drag. I just have to think about how to implement that, I suppose. I guess I just kind of click a tile when you go over it. Because that's a question, because like if I do that, it feels like it shouldn't do that. It feels like what it should do is if I toggle it and then I hold over, it should paint that light, right? And then if I toggle it the other way and hold over, it should paint dark. That seems like the thing that probably feels more natural than just having it toggle as you draw over it. That's really not, there's no right or wrong answer on that, but I do wonder what everybody else would think of that. There's two possibilities. I might need to reiterate them, but I do need to fix these because these are supposed to be just step-on tiles, not not the magic ones that you can only interact with the cursor. Even though it does feel good to do that. Yeah, I think it probably does need that. So we'll go get button, mouse click, and then what we're going to do is we're going to set, let's see. Well, that's tough. It's tough to think about exactly how I'm going to set that, because the way I'm doing it right now is like I send a message to the tile. When you click it, basically here, I'm sending it a message, and then it responds to that message with is stood on or with toggle tile. So I don't want to toggle it, but I'm trying to think of how I determine the state. So I can't just call the function and get a thing back, so I'd have to like send a message back, I think, right? Let me see. I don't think send message returns anything. Yeah, the question was not really so much about whether clicking and dragging was a good idea, because I kind of feel like it's obviously a good idea to click and drag. It's more a question of that's because it's just holding right now, but it's more a question of when I click and drag, should it just toggle everything, or should it like paint them the color that I painted, which I think the right answer is that it should paint them the first color. Like if I toggled one on, then I probably, if I'm clicking and dragging, I want to toggle more on. I probably am not like wanting to toggle this one next to it, but toggle it off. So what I need to do is I need to get the state of the tile that is on, which I don't think is actually stored in the tile. At all. Okay, so because I basically need to figure out what I set the first one to. The simplest thing I can think is to just send a message back to the player, but that seems kind of weird. I don't think there's a public static reference to that. The easiest thing at this point is just to break down and set a global, but I don't know that I want to do that either. These are all constants, so can't change the global constants. This is kind of a tough call to make, because it's like I could kind of just set something in something that this reads like, you know, this is the annoying part about like not just kind of doing this in a way that made more sense. Because really, like, the way I would probably technically implement this most of the time would be I would figure out where I was in the player and then just set all of the information in the player rather than sending a message, right? It's like I'm sending a message to the tile, say, is stood on. Then the tile is saying, okay, I'm stood on, and then it goes to the panel and it calls a function on the panel and sets some things on the panel, even though it's not, like, it could technically just be all done in the player, right? Can I call a method? Because I don't think I can call a method unless I know the class, which I do know the class because I can make it a puzzle panel tile. Like I could do this, I suppose. Just to test that that works, I'll just call toggle tile on it. And see if it works. Cannot implicitly convert game object to puzzle panel tile. Okay. I guess because it's a mono behavior, right? So, can I do this? Okay. Game object does not contain a definition. Okay, so I need to get component. Right. I assume that's what I need to do. Still inaccessible because it's private. But it is, otherwise it would work. So that means I can make this have a public state. Okay. Just means I have to set all the states. Which may be annoying. Good, I guess when I set the Z offset, I'm setting the state, but damn it. Didn't really want to do this. We'll just go is on or something like that. Toggle state. So then that means that the puzzle panel itself needs to update all of those, which is kind of annoying. Let's see, optional, locked, elevated. Somewhere I store the panels, I believe. Lit squares, block outline, overlays. Okay. So lit squares is where it is. Okay, so that's where I set up everything at the beginning. So I set all the stuff for the states, which would be basically like lit squares x plus width times y is dot I guess those, I don't remember whether those were puzzle panel tiles or just game objects, because if they're just game objects then I'll have to get component, which is annoying, but okay, there's game objects, so I have to get component. Okay. Get component panel tile, or I could send them a message, but I don't know. Dot toggle state equal to false. We'll just see whether this works. And that should be public. And so now when the player does the left mouse button down, I should be able to look at the tile's state. What is that? Toggle state? Is that what it's called? Okay, toggle state. So I just need to, or basically go hit tile, toggle state. And then I need to send a message to that. It's like, okay, see, I need left mouse button down, basically. Left mouse button held as well, and they just need to be separate. Get button down. So left mouse button held. It's all very seat of the pants type programming here, but so when I first click, I should basically get the toggle state and store that in like the cache or whatever, basically. And then I need another one that's like else if controller dot left mouse button held. So then that'll work like this. We'll go hit tile dot toggle tile. We'll go if hit tile dot toggle state is not equal to geez, what would this be? First toggle state, first tile toggle state, first click tile toggle state. Then we'll toggle it, otherwise we do nothing. So we'll do this, like first clicked tile toggle state is equal to that, and that's got to get cached. So we'll put this back up here as a bool. Just went to that usage. Okay, so that should work. I just do like this, basically. You look at game object and tile. If we clicked the left mouse button, then we want to send it a message to toggle the tile. set the state to its current state for that, basically. Wait, no, we want to go equal to if it's that. So basically it's like, yeah, that probably will work. So then, like, if we just clicked, then we click this, we figure out what the state was of the thing, then we toggle it, and then we basically just check to see if it's the same state, whatever we're on, and then if we do that, then we send the message. Theoretically, that'll work. I probably will need to add something in here where, like, if there's not, the cursor's not hitting a thing, then don't keep doing that, because it'll probably be able to go between panels, which maybe we don't want. Wrong number of indices. Okay, I guess lit squares is a double thing. Does anybody know if it is possible to serialize two-dimensional arrays in a Unity script now? Because the reason I have the one-dimensional arrays is because they get serialized out, and the two-dimensional arrays wouldn't serialize. Okay, so that's not working. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's being weird. I did something wrong. So we hit something, hit thing, send the game message that it stood on. And then we're getting this tile, and if the player's pressing a button, then first click tile state is equal to hit tile state. If it's held, then if hit tile state is equal to first click tile state. It must have something to do with the fact that, like, I wasn't standing on the puzzle, and so maybe it wasn't getting updated. I don't know. It also is sticking with down. It's like sticking with the cursor being down, which lends me to believe that this is not working right. If get button, mouse click. If get button down, mouse click. Oh, because I never set it to false. Edoy. I guess I just need to do is equal to. I don't know why I didn't do that. I just need to do this. Put that here. Okay. That isn't anything. So it works, but the holding is still toggling it over and over again, which is weird to me. I guess the only question I should have there is whether or not, like... Okay, so it doesn't really matter what the initial state is. It just keeps toggling it. I don't know why that is. Oh. Duh. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't display 2D arrays, and you can't save them. So I had to custom write a thing to display the arrays, which looks like this. I've got these things that I wrote to display the arrays, which work fine. Like these are arrays of bools, and these are arrays of integers, so that's fine. The problem is nothing to do with what I'm doing. Like, this is fine. It's just that it's changing the state every frame, and so the toggle state is obviously changing. So I don't need to toggle the tile. I need to set the state, basically. Like, so it needs to be like this. No, that's not. Wait. Yeah. So I need basically to do this to get the state that I set that to, and then if a tile that I'm over is not already in that state, then we want to set it. It feels like it should work. It feels like it shouldn't cycle, but maybe my brain is not properly, like, following this logic. It obviously isn't, because it's cycling. Okay, so what happens here, basically? So we go through, we're on the tile, click it, the toggled one, and we set the first state to whatever we set it to, basically, at this point. Oh, it might not be that, because toggle tile doesn't necessarily change the thing. So toggle tile should change it, I think. Well, I don't necessarily know that, so we need to put it in the panel, because it might be something that, even though I click toggle tile, it might be untoggleable or something, so. So basically I need to go lit tiles or lit squares, x, y is equal to current state x plus width times y. Can you do ternary? I don't feel like doing ternary though. I guess I can just do this. That will toggle it, because it's always going to toggle. So I'm returning on the snake ones though. Flock tiles, reset panel, related tiles, step on. Because then we step on it. Okay. Well, we'll think about that in a minute. Can't implicitly convert bool to game. Oh yeah, because it's Jesus. Get component. This is so messy, and I do not like this. This is so, like, object oriented that I want to die. Because I feel like it should. I feel like all this state should just be stored in one spot. Okay, that's still not working. And I don't know actually why it isn't, so. So. Because toggle should work, right? Like, if I literally just look at the state of the tile and I say, okay, if the state of the tile is not that, then set it to that. Like, that should work. But it doesn't seem to work, which is weird. Maybe I'll try this. I mean, I can step through it just to see what it's doing, but that doesn't work either. Alright, fine. I concede. We'll try to step through it. I'm going to have to set my... No, not that. It's this editor here. External tools. Visual Studio. I guess I'm going to have to try... Try to get that to work. Okay, so I actually need to look at player. And then go, let's see, where is that? Should be able to remove that to do, but so I should be able to get feedback on that, hopefully. Okay, it didn't like automatically send me over here, which is kind of annoying, but okay. Forget how all this works. Step into is F11. Okay. I don't really need to step into debug log, but I don't think it will anyway. Okay, so it sent the message. To the puzzle panel tile. Toggle state is false. Okay. It's not letting me see Unity, so I can't verify that that should be correct. So step on happens. And it's not a snake panel, so we return, which is fine. Set is active to true and is stood on to true. Alright. So we sent it a message. Now we're going to get this particular tile here. Just hit tile. Stood on as true. Toggle state's false. And, okay. Alright. I see. It's because I didn't click it. So let's go to where, to here instead. And go to click. Okay, so toggle state's false. go in to attach panel, toggle that. It's not snakes, we skip that part. We play a sound. Set state change to true. From panel. And then we find this and we supposedly set that to true. Okay. Well, let's see if I can find this then and see whether it set it to true. Jesus Christ, what is going on? Okay, just the majesty of this, I guess. So, this says tile state is still false. Whereas it should have been true, right? At least I feel like it should have been true. That's false, and it should set to true. Oh, I set it to the same thing. Jesus Christ. Well, that might be why it doesn't work. Because it should be set to not that. Let me turn that off. Should be this. The state wasn't getting set right, so that may be why it was cycling. Yeah. Jesus Christ. This is why I just don't even bother. Okay, it's still cycling now. Don't know why it's cycling, I still have no idea. Don't know why it's cycling. It feels like if I'm holding this, if the tile state's not the first click tile state, then this should set it to that. Right, like this should toggle it, and then next time I see this, it should come through and say, okay, well the tile state is equal to that. Then it should not do this. But for some reason it keeps doing it, and I'm not really sure why. I guess I should make sure that's not getting, like, screwed up, too. I guess I should have left this open, but... okay, so... in player... Let's try looking and seeing what that is. Can I just like add that as a watch? Is there some way to do that? I don't know. Okay, I guess I gotta attach. Okay. So that should get set to false. Even though this doesn't seem to be able to run down the actual thing. I don't know why. It's like not in scope. I don't know. Like, what is going on with this? Like, what is this? Okay, so that should say tile state true. Was that what I was expecting to see? Okay, so it got set to true. So I should be able to... Okay, so it's never actually even pulling that, it seems like. Because this should be, like, hitting this, right? It should be if left mouse button held. So instead it's just doing this over and over and over and over again. I'm not sure why that is. But it definitely seems like it's just never reaching this scope. So, that'll at least explain why it's not doing it. Even if I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing wrong. Because, I feel like that should work, but I don't know. Let me look at the controller again. Oh, damn it. I don't know how that happened. They're just the opposite of what they're supposed to be. Because I thought down, I was like, down should be held down. Yay, it works now. It's like what I was imagining it would do. Is like if I start on a dark, then I should... not toggle, like, even when I'm holding down, that if I toggle, like, a light to a dark, then I should be able to do that. Look, I've made a pixel art program. Whee! I don't know whether those should work with the mouse or what. But yeah, see now I can write my memoirs, which are like forgot this was not a toggler. But yeah, this probably shouldn't work with it. Shouldn't be able to click those. I can have one that works that way, that's a clickable one, but they need to visually be distinct. Okay, so that's fine. I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, so the thing I'm wondering though is why when I look at this is it not lined up? Like, I wonder why this is not lined up. I guess it doesn't really matter. I think about it. Kind of only matters that it's lined up in the game. I've been going for about an hour. Hold on. Okay. Gotta look and okay. I did tweet about stream, right? Okay, I did. Just didn't know. Excuse me. Okay. So, let's make it to where those don't work, I guess. Which then becomes strange that they don't work, but, what if I like turn off that message? What would happen? I'd obviously get less feedback about what tile I'm gonna click on, but okay. So then I just click anything. That's interesting. It doesn't stand on it. It doesn't unsolve it. That seems right. It's very small, I'm sure, on the stream. just wondering whether or not I should be able to do anything to these tiles at all. It's interesting, like it doesn't solve until I stand on it, because I don't worry about solving unless I send that message that it stood on. So I basically need a message that is stood on, but not stood on. I basically need like to overlay it or something. It's like I don't know. Not sure exactly. There's lots of ways that can be done. I definitely need to make the panel like solve update happen, not just when you're standing on the tile or whatever. But I'm not sure why it doesn't, because there's probably some reason why it doesn't too. Consider not doing this if panels aren't visible. Okay, so I do something about whether they're visible. I think it has to do with whether they're active. Yeah, is panel active? So where am I setting is panel active to be false? That's the question. So I must be setting is panel active to be true at some point, or else it would never work at all. I don't see where I'm doing it unless it's in here. Okay, I'm setting it here to be true. Which I probably don't want to do. I probably want to do this. Frankly, I probably just want to just guessy it to where it always is doing the is panel active stuff. Well, shoot. Because I know, well, I basically want it to be active if it's visible, rather than I think what I have, which is that I check to see if it's active based on, let's see, it's based on whether you step on it, is how I do it right now, whereas it should really just be based on whether or not you can see it. So like here it should be like is panel active equals true, and then here it should be is panel active equals false, basically, I think. I want to make sure that I'm not actually setting that anywhere else though. So let's try what that does and see if that works. Let's see. Okay, so it's not actually working now. It's still thinking that it's not active. So this must get called somewhere. Okay, it always gets called. So you'd think if it always gets called that draw panels would say, okay, is the panel visible? So it checks to see whether or not it's within the camera. And if that's false, it sets is active to false. Otherwise, it sets to true. Now, what is this inside of? Just inside of update. Okay, so I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to always set that, which is not great because it means that the game's probably going to run really bad. Because I do need to deactivate panels so that they're not always checking for solutions. Like they need to not check if they're off the screen. Okay, so that works. So the question is, why is it always getting set to false? Somewhere it has to be always getting set to false. Besides there. I don't see it being set anywhere. Unless for some strange reason it's not in this particular piece of code. If I set it to true, then I mean, like I said, it should set it to true if it's visible. So that definitely is like solving them, but I'm not sure exactly why. Because I feel like I should be able to set it to false and still get a bounds test that sets it to true. Like it still should be like, okay, should still look at the bounds and say, okay, it's not invisible, so set it to true. But it never does, it seems like. So I'm going to So I'm going to go into the puzzle panel and monitor this active. Why is there this currently active? What does that do? Currently active is true. When we set the children active, we say if active is not even currently active, which is what I'm setting it to. State changed. Was active equals false. If is panel active. Was active equals true. So I don't understand, because was active is being set to false, right? But I also don't see that was active is ever used for anything, so. I guess I'll try was active equals true here and see what happens. See if that causes anything. Okay, so that seems to work. It's drawing the highlight square, which is strange, but sort of checking to make sure I'm not just being dumb. Yeah, because it seems like now it's just not setting at all, right? So that's fine. Because it should be like setting it if it's visible. But I don't know why it's doing this outline thing. That's very strange. Like, why am I seeing that? So here it works because it's like under the player, right? And then, but it should like turn off when the player steps off of it. Maybe that has to do with the panel being active or not. It could be this start highlight here. I really don't know. I'm not sure if it's a start highlight or what it is. But those tiles seem to be still on, whatever it is. So it's definitely the start highlight is what it is, which as far as I know shouldn't even exist anymore because I don't need it. So if I look at this, it should be a cursor, outline overlay, tile block. So it's not the cursor, because the cursor is not visible. So it's got to be the outline here is just literally just being set to that color. Which makes me wonder. Makes me wonder why. Ugh, why we get that. Okay, so that's what it is. It's from that. So I just need to set that to where it just doesn't happen if the player's not on it or whatever. Okay, so now I have no indication of what tile that I'm on or the mouse is on. It's no good. I need that. But it needs to not just be if the panel's active, the panel has to be like stood on, basically. I don't even know that it matters if I set if I check to see if panel's active. But yeah, I don't know what all is caring whether it's active, because I still need to remove the concept of being active, because the panel, I don't care whether the panel's active, I just care whether it's visible, right? If it's visible, then it's active. If it's not visible, then it's not active, essentially is the rule. But I'm not sure what this was active is doing, because it's doing something somewhere where if I don't set that, then it's not liking me, even though I don't know what's checking it. So there's only one player standing tile. God, I don't know. This is a whole bunch of big questions that are impossible for me to answer correctly. Like, should I have just sent the message of that it stood on, like the player standing on it? I don't think so. I should send a message that's like mouse is hovered over or whatever, right? Which then would work the same way essentially as being stood on, except not. So okay. Yeah, this is annoying. Very annoying. Like, where just doing this worked. More or less. I guess I just need a concept of player not standing on it or whatever, rather than it being active. Interesting that still updates it, but the other one doesn't. Okay, so do I do is panel active, or do I do like I've essentially conflated the panel being active with the player standing on the panel, and I've conflated the panel being active with whether or not I want to update the panel, which I kind of want to update the panel if it's visible, so I kind of need like visible and then stood on instead of is active. And I don't know exactly how to do all that other than just add a thing for now. It's like, because I need to clean this up to where like I know what the heck is even going on. So the way I was doing it was I was checking. I was basically just saying is stood on equals false, and then I was otherwise going and saying if you had step on, then we would say is stood on equals true. That's sort of how I was doing it. So that if we see a step on event, then we do it. Okay. So then the question I have is, why doesn't this work? Because that's confusing. So I feel like that should be sending that message that's saying that it stood on. Like the cursor should do that. Oh, it is now. Okay. Must just not been updated or something. Okay, so that works again. It's still broken, but at least I'm not conflating ideas to a certain extent. Like I'm talking about what I'm actually talking about rather than talking about something else. So, the question about it being active really has nothing to do with anything except whether it's visible. So it kind of should be visible, not active. So it should be like, is panel visible? And then we go like, was visible. It would be like, was panel visible? But again, I don't know where the heck I'm checking for was panel visible. I can like find in all the files, I suppose. It's literally just in this file, so I don't know why it would break anything when I can't, when I'm not even testing what's visible for anything. So, like, yeah. So there should be no actual use to was visible. Oh, I didn't think about it. It wouldn't be what's visible. Hello, Justy989. How's it going? It wouldn't be what's visible. It would be let's see. Was active. Okay, it's in the save system is why I care whether it's active. Seems like. panel is panel active equals false, panel was active equals true. So why am I doing this? Why am I setting it to not be active, but that it was active? I assume I'm doing that so that the state will update when I load the file. But I don't think that's actually necessary anymore because it's tied to its visibility, right? Puzzle start set active. Oh, okay. Yeah, puzzle start's not used in anything though. Hold on. Let me set this back to Sublime. Anyway, so what I'm doing is I'm still working on that interface stuff that I was working on yesterday. When it comes with these puzzles. Okay, so late update for puzzle start checks this, right? For each and attached panels. We override the light. Okay. I don't really need to know, I guess, if they're visible, but I guess I should. I don't really need to set panels active anymore because I just don't have that concept. Reset all panels. I guess I can make it visible, but I don't think it matters, so I'm just gonna do that. As far as I know, it doesn't actually matter because there's no concept of difference between being active and being visible now. So those work. Still the problem of that I can solve these snake ones by clicking, which just has to do with that I'm conflating standing on the thing with the mouse cursor, and there's no indication difference. I'm not sure what would happen if I stood here and... Okay, I guess it would just compete with the player. It wouldn't like double highlight. You can solve these like this now. Well, that's an interesting thing I didn't think about. It's because the way that I have the gates set up, you could theoretically unsolve a puzzle while you're inside of a wall, and that would probably like cause some problems. But that's fine because I'm going to change the way the gates work anyway. So you can solve these with the mouse cursor, but you're not really supposed to. So now I just have the issue of differentiating, where it's like I need to differentiate between ones that you click on and ones that you stand on. And I'm not entirely sure how to do that. I'm still feeling like it's a problem. Like I'm still feeling like I don't know how to solve this problem. Do not know how to solve the problem of differentiating between them effectively. Because it's fine toggling them like this, but then you feel weird that you can't, like, if you couldn't toggle these, it would feel weird. Because they look like the same thing, basically. So, need to ruminate on that for a bit. About how to differentiate them visually. To where one makes sense. Oops. I kind of wish I knew how to get the puzzle panels to work on a reload, like a script reload, because that's kind of an issue with the game. Is like if I make any changes, then I get like script reload. This is kind of strange too. Like this thinks I'm playing with a DualShock 4, even though, as far as I know, there's no joystick. I guess it's keeping it because of the Bluetooth keeps it, which is probably not what I want, but because if you look at Bluetooth, I'm not sure where it is. If I look at this, I guess is what it would be under. Yeah, then the controller shows up here, even though like it's not plugged in. In fact, if I connect it, I don't think it'll work. That's fine. Anywho, the game at least seems to work. It's not giving me any null reference exceptions anymore, which is interesting. So normally it would give me a null reference. It's possible they all got set as inactive or something. But yeah, the question of why can I not click these guys is a tough one. I can resolve it by just making all of these panels look like this. But then the question of how do I visually depict which spots you can start at then becomes a little more difficult. I feel like, I was gonna say, I feel like this is a different game soundtrack. So what are we gonna listen to instead? Assassin's Creed 3's soundtrack, which I don't really want to listen to. Oh, I don't know. Thought about listening to Hyper Light Drifter's soundtrack, but I haven't played the game, and I feel like that's spoilers, so... what's something that's coming to mind? Nothing's coming to mind. I want to listen to the sound of nothing. I've been playing this game, which has a good soundtrack, but it's also very intense, and I don't know that I want to, like, program to to super intense music. No, there's voices in it. I don't need voices. Yeah. It's like, it's okay if I turn it down, but it's very intense. I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna work for me. I need something that is like calming. I don't know. I just listen to the Fez soundtrack all the time anyway, so just put that on. There's no need to be original. There's no need to be original. Just gotta change the. Oh, I don't have any text. Oh, it must have been. Oh, I see. I'm supposed to have. It's supposed to be on there. I just had it turned off on the particular thing. Okay, that's fine. So like I said, it's fine if I do it this way or something, where it's like, oh, it's not a complete square, so I can't click it. But then I do wonder, how do I make it clear where you can start? I could put no outline at all on the tile. And that's these other ones. Seems a bit bad to do that, though. I don't know if anybody has any opinion about that at all. But testing that would be fairly easy to see what it would look like. I just basically need to set up stuff based on if it's a snake panel or not. At the setup. So, let's see, overlays, broken outline overlay. Hide lock tiles. I could do this type of thing, basically, which would be if panel type is equal to panel types dot snake. Oops. Then we want to go like this. That theoretically would do the thing that I'm talking about. Which means that these will just look like this. I feel like it's bad because it's not really clear the tiles wise what's going on, but I'm not sure exactly what to do. I can do that, and then I can do... Basically, if it's a snake type, which is not really what I want. I really want, like, if it's clickable, like, versus not, for it to be different. And right now I'm just saying that means it's a snake type, so I probably want, like, is clickable or something. Is clickable equals false. And then just set a bool for is clickable. I can do it as a public bool to where I can just set each panel however I want. So I'll do that for now. And we'll just say by default it's false unless it's a toggler. I guess we'd say is clickable. Yeah. That seems fine. So at the start, I basically check to see if it's a snake or if it's freeform, and that's fine. We'll just go like this. We'll go like is clickable equals false. So that should mean that it draws it differently based on that it's one of these guys. I don't know why it is zoomed out that much. Okay, I guess it's just the little window that looked bad. Feels like they need an overlay, but they need an overlay that's like just the edges of the tile, basically. So I got the broken outline overlay, and I got the outline overlay. Let's say they use the broken one for these. I don't know. We can try that. So if clickable, then we're doing this. See if it's locked to instantiate lock tile type. Like, this is what I'm doing right now. Is if it's locked, I do that. So we'll go like if is clickable, we do this. Otherwise, we like just do nothing. And then for this, we'll go if is clickable. Then we do this. That's fine. I actually can leave that out of there. But well, I guess like really what I need is like if it's not clickable, just hide it. The other one we're going to say we instantiate that, and we instantiate this if it's clickable, else we instantiate one of these guys. Which actually seems consistent as far as I can tell, because if you think about
if a tile's locked on one of the other panels, then we want to show one of these things on it. Seems like none of these are actually working right, which is weird. So I don't know why that is. Maybe his clickables never getting set right. Okay. So we'll just go else is clickable equals true. So something's still fishy, but it should get set for these guys at least. So that they have squares on them. And then this will have the broken outline ones. So we'll say if it's locked, if we do nothing, if it's not clickable. If it's not locked, oh, that's the problem. I'm just doing it there. I don't need to do that. So if it's not locked, then we won't do that. So you'll have these, and you won't be able to click those because the tile is like wrong, right? If it's not a full square, you can't click it. Would be the idea. But these are full squares, so you can click them. So yeah, so that will work like that, where you get a little highlight. Like I said, I still feel like the tile probably just needs an edge to it is all for these ones. Yeah, it kind of just needs an edge that looks like that, basically. So, let's see. I forget how this works. So we got puzzle panel tile. Okay, so that's the thing, is the tile is there, but the sprite is flat. And I've also got, like, a locked tile. I think those are old, I feel like. Panel cover opening. See you, PX. I don't know what. I still am not sure how to say your name, but see ya. Have a good one. Okay. I'm just gonna have to run it and look at what it instantiates, because I really don't remember exactly what all the objects are. Okay, so let's move down here and look at these things. So it instantiates a tile, which I knew, and then it also instantiates an overlay. Okay, so the overlay has a hole in it, is actually what is going on. It's not the other way around. Okay, so the overlay has a hole in it. So I need to have an overlay of some kind. Wait a second. I thought the overlay had a hole in it. Interesting. Assertions. So that doesn't really look like it is working the way that it looks like. I think there's a tile. Okay, there's tile block. There's an outline, broken outline overlay, and so then there's also a quad here of some kind with a sprite. So the sprite is the color of the tile, basically. So the main thing has what? Puzzle panel tile, sprite color blender, sprite render. So there's this sprite here. Okay. So what is the sprite here? It's just puzzle tile inactive. Okay. Seems like the easiest thing for me to do here, if I want to mess with this, is to just change this ping and see what it looks like if I do that. Because that's, every tile is based off of this ping, so even though it will affect the other ones as well, it's like I can... What is going on? Oh, okay. I'll just do this. So this is the most basic thing I can do. Is just like put some gray on it or something. And then see what it does. Because then it should just have edges on the tiles like that. It's way, way darker than I would want it to be though. Even if I do this. I would much rather it be like very subtle. Also try this. Where are we? Make one corner very much more subtle. Can also do this, or this gets darker. This gets darker. sure that is doing great on the stream. This thing that's going on with it. It also looks like they did a weird texture compression on it that looks bad too. So. Feels way too, like, I don't know. I think that looks kind of bad. Like, I kind of don't mind the subtle edge to it, but I kind of don't like having the broken thing on every single tile. I think that looks weird. But I know I need something that's like an indicator on a tile when you can, like, that you can do something to it. And it can't be the same as the one that you click, because then you'll think that you should be able to click it. So for that purpose, these work. They're just kind of ugly. I guess I could have them only show up really like when you're on the tile or something. So it would be sort of like this, if it's like not clickable, and it just wouldn't show up at all except if you're on the tile. It seemed like it worked, actually. Sure that will not reload. I'm sure it will totally bust and kill everything. It did. So be it. Okay, so now, now it gives me an indicator if I can, on each tile as I step on it. But that doesn't help me with the problem that I can't tell ahead of time whether I can start on a given tile. So I feel like I should be able to look and just be like, oh, I can start on that one, or I can't start on that one. Could just be a matter of the color. I don't know, it's kind of what's coming to mind. Sort of just the idea of just don't really like the tiliness of it. I just think it looks gross. think they look better if they don't have anything else on them. But then it just looks weird for these kind of things. I kind of don't dislike... Ow! Shoot. Kind of don't dislike being able to start wherever. I just kind of... It feels strange to not have something that's an indicator, and I'm not sure what the indicator should be for a start position on these guys. Really got to think about this more than I want to. But I kind of liked it when it didn't have any kind of symbols on those ones at all. Even though I feel like, I don't know. If I go back up here, I'm going to turn off the symbols for these guys. So if it's not clickable, okay, so let's just say like this, right? I must have screwed something up. Not sure what I screwed up. Oh, there's a extra one of those guys. So, I kind of liked this look a little better. It just... use that because you can't click them. It's like if you can click them, that's fine. Unless I come up with something else for clickable ones. But I like the idea of this for a click. Man, it's tough to resolve. I don't know. What am I going? 2.5 hours roughly. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break and then we'll think some more about what we want to do with that because I really am not sure. So, because I'm thinking about how to differentiate these things, right? And, I did this kind of art here. Just doesn't have a background properly, but it has some kind of background. Really should be a gradient, but I don't know if this can actually even do proper gradients. Ooh, that's kind of neat. Anywho, that's me messing around more than I should be messing around. But so, like my mock-up here was sort of like that. These were kind of things that you would click on, right? It's like, oh, you could click on that and click on that. So in this sort of setup, I guess if you were gonna have like a tile on the ground, it would look more like it would look more like these, right? But I don't know what to do exactly with that. Let's say we look at this one. Oops, that is not copied from the right layer. Let's say we pull any of these in here. Really, I think the best looking one is this one, where I've like separated them into these individual subtiles where they've got a gap between them, right? Definitely look distinct from the other ones. That means as far as a grid goes, what do I do here? Let's put these on a grid. Okay, so then they have to kind of look like that, basically. but they're not exactly on the grid. Which again, I believe I can probably do to the point of testing, so. So the position doesn't quite work there. Just a matter of implementation, really, as far as I can tell anyway. Do it modally and based on just tile states and stuff, but let's say I'm doing them like this, for example. Oops. And once pressed down, it should look like kind of, I would imagine. Whereas otherwise it would look different. So I'm not really sure that I can do this using the same method that I've already used to implement these guys. I might have to just come up with a different method of doing them that doesn't involve like actually physically moving them. Like, I like the look of this though, like I like the look of these, but it doesn't resolve with this like idea of why can't I click on them. Maybe it's just the color, maybe I just care about the color and I don't care about anything else. And that means that all the panels that are click panels have to be colored. Some way or another. Which can be done, but for instance, look at this panel. I think there's a setting in the panel to change the colors. May not be in the custom inspector controls, but we got like override color. Flick color. Color is overridden is what I'm looking for. Must just be when it gets instantiated. Oh, I'm not using any of these colors, that's why that's not working. Oh, Jesus. So I'm just manually setting all the colors because I just needed some colors. So I don't have like colors that are used for all that stuff. I'm instead just going in here and just being like, set the color to this. Where is that? Here we go. So we got like that one, and that one, and that one. I don't think I need any of this. This is like... I don't think I need this code. Because that was when it was solved, but you didn't exit the mode. So... And since it's not modal anymore, there's no need for that. I'm using black there. So I need some testing colors for these guys. Ugh. Let's see. Which is basically going to be... Let's see. Tile is lit. Excuse me, this tile is unlit. Tile is elevated. So that's if it's not solved. Okay. The panel is solved. So this one's going to be tile is lit. Tile is unlit. Which I do with black and white right now. So I need like say we use this and we use it's what is its dark equivalent? This one. Maybe it should be that. It could just be black and a color, but that doesn't actually help me too much. That is tough to decide on. I think it probably does need to be like a square like that or something. Alright, let me get this color. I don't have it in the capacity that this wants me to have it though. 207, 167. I don't think so, anyway. Those are, I think, puzzle panel overlays. Maybe they're, what is that thing called? Sprite color blenders. Okay, I let myself set it based on a color or based on floats. Okay. I don't let myself set it based on RGB values. So that's fine, but it might be nice. 25, 207, 167. 207. So that's not right. It's gonna be 25 divided by 2.098. That's gonna be 207 divided by 255, which is 0.812. I'm just putting in numbers for now because I mean I don't know what else to do at the moment. And then 167 divided by 255 is 0.655. So it should be something like that. just to see what that would even look like, because it should be the right color at least. No overload for set color takes 3 arguments. Oh yeah, I need a alpha value as well. Alpha value as well. It's basically like bright color. And I guess I can make it to where when you overlay it, it's white or something. Like your outline turns white when you highlight it. So like this thing would be that except white. Just see what that looks like. Okay. That might work. Might work. Just feels like when I light the tile, it should like fill in this square though with the lit color. Just kind of a third level of thing on the panel. But it does resolve one issue, which is that I can then make these to where they're black and white instead of colored. So then you think, oh, okay, it makes sense that I can't click on that because it's not colored. I guess. Totally right, but we'll do the trick for now. So that will mean that these guys are black and white, and then these ones have a very bright color on them. Although again, I think it should probably be a smaller type image or something on that. different states are more clear. Maybe I can just hack it just to see what it would look like. What I'm thinking is that we have these guys. Let me unmaximize that. Just pull this over here. So we have the tile itself. It's got a color, right? I don't want to set that color. I need to turn off the puzzle panel script is what I need to do. So then I can change all these guys' colors. Maybe. Anyway, so there's that. This outline. Maybe it's just that this outline so I feel like it should be a little bit more like maybe not that when you toggle it, but like maybe this color or something. I see 189. So what I was thinking was basically like this, if I can get it. I was thinking like that or something. I don't know. Though. It's very strange. Right now what I do is I like overlay the thing on top of it and you click it and it like lights up. I'm not sure what to do about that. So let's see, we've got It seems hard to. Mostly, I'm just doing analysis paralysis. Is my problem. I just sit here and I think too much about what's the right way of doing something. And what? Let's try this. Puzzle tile, inner square. I don't know. So I should have a inner square tile now. And that's sprite. 16 pixels per unit. Apply. Needs to be point filtered. Okay, so puzzle tile inner square. So I should have a ability to set this stuff. Puzzle tile additive. Puzzle panel tile. Puzzle tile block. Okay, so what do these guys spawn right now? They spawn puzzle panel tiles. And they use this sprite puzzle tile inactive. Which I can then change to this. Which is almost what I was thinking, but not quite. Let's look at these guys here, too. Let's see if I did that to this panel. What that would look like. Oh, weird. Looks very strange. So, because I feel like I still need the same thing, but I need another overlay, basically, because I need to have the ability to highlight this, the ability to do an inner color there as well. I won't debate it too much, but I gotta try something. For example, I've got my highlight thing, and then I've got my my outline color here, which is what I want to be lit, basically, the lit color. If it's clickable, then I want that to be the lit color. Or rather, I want the this to be LSCB. And then I would want the outline color to be not that, but I'm not sure exactly what, so we're going to look at it anyway. Just see. Okay, so I don't know that I want them to turn white. So let's see what this does if I do. Oh, man. Okay. So we'll go and do panel tile, block, puzzle, panel tile. I think that's right. So we'll change that to this inner square one first. That should affect all of them by default. So yeah, so I kind of do want that almost, but not quite. Listening to now? I'm listening to like the last track then. So let's go over and look at some different types of panels. Just to see what they look like. Those still don't work, but I'm gonna try something even a little weirder, but just because I want to see what it looks like. Oh, that still didn't work. I feel like some of them reloaded, but some of them didn't, which is really weird. What is this? Oh, this is Sword and Sorcery. Oh, that's fine. Why did those not load, but these did? No, that's not what's going on. I don't think, anyway. Oh, the problem. Oh, shit. Okay. The problem is that I saved over the wrong one. This is supposed to be that one, but I actually saved over a different one. Which is puzzle tile inner square. why it doesn't actually open that one when I do that, I don't know, but so that should work now. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was thinking. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Let's see what it looks like on the ones that have like more things on them. Still doesn't look bad. It does look kind of weird, actually, for it to have anything underneath it, though, because it almost feels like it just feels like it should have nothing underneath it. But I'm not sure. Ooh, what's this? This is a game that I'm working on. It's called Taiji. I am presently, what I'm involved in doing is redesigning this interface, because the old version of the interface had like oh man, I don't know any way to explain, but you know how you would like in like a tile-based puzzle game, you'd have a little cursor that moved from tile to tile or something, like in, not Tetris, but in that Tetris type puzzle game. So you used to have that in the game. It used to be like you'd have a little cursor that just you could move like this, and you'd have to go stand on these and then hit the button, and it would put you in a mode where you were moving the cursor around. I didn't think that felt very good, so I decided to move to where you just click to solve the panels, basically. But right now the thing is I'm having to think about the visual aspect of the game, because there's two main panel types, and one of those is that type that you just saw, and the other one is this other type that works like this, where you have these tiles that raise up and you walk around on the panel. So my concern is I don't want it to seem like you should be able to click on these. Like right now you can, which is just an artifact of the way I've implemented this, but the idea will be that you have panels you can click on and panels that you can't click on. But I'm not sure exactly what to do for the symbology of that. So it's kind of just a thing of how do I make that clear of what you should and shouldn't be able to click on. And my thinking at the moment was just the stuff that you could click on has these very bright neon colors, and the stuff that you can't click on doesn't. So you just have these bright colors for these. I don't think I can really do a circular border, just because the panels have to have like a symbol on them, unless you mean this as a circular border, in which case I've looked at taking it off, but the problem is I need to have some kind of symbology, because there's certain things like, for example, in these starting area puzzles, like you've got well, let me just reset the whole game because I don't have a way to like just reset an individual panel. But like you've got these tiles you can start on basically. Like I can go start the panel on that tile, and the other ones I can't. And so I need some kind of symbology that's like thick black borders between panels you can't walk on. But yeah, I need to have some kind of like something so I know, okay, well, I can start here on this panel, but I can't start on these tiles. So I need some kind of thing. Thick black borders between panels you can't walk on. I don't know. I'm thinking about that. I need to figure out a way to to make this work. I'm just not sure exactly what's the best thing. I guess I can just add the thing to whatever, but because I kind of like when for these ones for them to look like this a little bit better. I'll probably change to where the outline is white when it's solved as well, and then just like do the opposite where you get a dark when you highlight back over it again if you want. Or around panels. Yeah, it's a little bit of a tough question because it's like I can take off the squares, or I can put, I have these broken square type things which you've seen. They're not going to work because I don't have the right thing. Okay, so I need to figure out what to do about this sprite render. Like I wish that I just could have a different sprite, but I don't really know where to do that. Let's see, puzzle panel tile. I can store the sprite in here, or I can store it in the puzzle panel itself. I guess I'll look and see what is in the puzzle panel as far as stuff that's stored in there. Storing a sound, I'm storing a bunch of prefabs. I'm not storing sprites in particular. And I guess I have, no, I don't have a locked tile anymore. I just have a broken outline overlay. Where's my, I had a water bottle. Hold on. Oh, here. Gotta have some water. It's spilling. It's not closed right. Well, spilled water all over myself. That's okay though. Okay. Let's see, sprite color blender, sprite renderer. Because it got a color blender in them. Those are different overlays. I don't necessarily want another whole tile, but I decided to attach the sprite to the tile instead of its own separate piece, which is probably not good. It's probably, this should probably have a sprite, not the other way around. But I just didn't necessarily want to have more overlays because I've already got, if I go in here and look at like this, I've got the tile, which is lit squared basically. Then I've got the outline, which is a separate thing, and then I've got I also have overlays that are on there here where I create a whole bunch of overlays, and then those get stuck into I believe those get stuck into a list somewhere here. They might not get stuck on a list, actually. They may just literally just get created. Enabled. Component box collider 2D. So I kind of need this. But I need to set that to a different thing at startup, depending on the type of puzzle. So I've got for XY, current state, lit squares, instantiate, block outline, overlays, instantiate, broken outline, prefab. Okay. Game object, panel, tile, block, prefab. Which I believe panel, tile, block, prefab is this puzzle. No, it's this puzzle, panel, tile. But let me check. It might be panel, tile, block. I guess I have that too. So this is like panel, tile, block, prefab, panel, tile, block. So it's panel, tile, prefab is what I'm looking for. Okay, so it's right here. Instantiate this panel, tile, prefab. So I should be able to do this, and then set the sprite to something else. Sprite render dot. I guess it's sprite. I don't know. So without doing it the cheap way of just scaling the thing. Oh shoot, I was going to listen to this. I haven't been listening to music. It's been quiet. I gotta change the label there then. Okay, so what was I going to do? Oh, I was going to figure out sprite render. Sprite render color sprite. Okay, so sprite. Specify a different sprite and sprite variable. So yeah, I need a sprite basically. It's gonna be clickable. Lit square sprite. I don't know. If it's clickable. I'll just add a sprite here. It's like public sprite. Clickable lit square sprite. So then that should go on the panel here. And that should be inner square. So that should be fine. So that should work. It didn't though. So that works. So okay, so this is the I see. Look outline overlay is okay, so that works. And then I can go into my colors here. This is all just kind of prototyping of everything, but if it's clickable, we set the outline. So it's solved, we unlit, we set the square to black or white. So if solved, wait, I need this, basically, if not solved. Clickable, we want to set the outline color to black or white, basically, at least from what I can tell. May not be exactly what we want to do, but it's probably doable. And then if it's clickable here, if it's clickable and it's solved, we stand on it, we want to set the outline color to this instead of white. Which is really not stood on, it's hovered over, but like I said, they're conflated right now, so. Name solved is not in the current thing. Okay, so what is it? Is lowercase solved. Okay, so that should, for these guys, color them more or less the way that I want them to be. Oh, it's not uncoloring them. Or it's just not highlighting. Because it should highlight white. Oh, okay, that's why I wanted it white. So it should be, if it's clickable, if it's not solved, or I guess we'll go if it's solved, then we do this. Why is solved capitalizing me? So if it's solved, we do that. Else we do. Oh, come on. Else we do color white. Really the solved color, whatever that's going to be, but that's fine. It's fine for testing. Okay, so not sure I like it being this color when I go over it, though. that's not working right now. It must just not set the state of them right at the beginning. On load, it just not set the state right, seems like. Seems like it just toggles them because it doesn't know what they are. So I still gotta figure out what I'm doing with these guys, other than I guess I can just... I could do this, like that's what I could do. I could just do all of them look like this broken thing, but then the question is, how do I differentiate right? Which one you can start on. Do it another way, I suppose, but could just do it to where that panel, that particular tile is like lit up or pulsing or something. Anyway, so I don't know. Just looking at different things, seeing what I think. But I think that the clickable ones look okay. They don't look terrible. I can't really have them pulse because then the whole panel would be pulsing all the time, like on one of these. So it's like I need to have something that indicates that this is a tile you can start on. But I don't know what it can be, what it should be. If it's not the square. Because that's sort of how I've done it, was that it's the square, right? But, and you'd think, okay, well, you can just make it to where they're raised up, but then that means that I'm constrained by, I have to start a panel from the outside edges. So maybe not the end of the world, but still, like, you have to start it from the raised up tile is how that would work. And then I kind of have to have a reset button separately rather than this way where I can just, like, go tap on the tile and then it will start me there. But I can start a tile with some, I can start a puzzle with a tile raised up, like that's possible to do. For example, you know, I can say, well, you start there. And then it's just a matter of, well, you just walk to that tile and then start there. It's just then I have to have some way to reset it if I was going to do that. If I do that, then I can eliminate the need for anything except locked tiles, because I could do all the tiles locked and then do just elevate one, right? So that panel down there would look like this, right? but then it does mean every single panel. I can't have like this where it's free form where you have to figure out how or where you should start. I always have to suggest where you start, which I don't know that I want to do. Kind of wanted you to be able to start wherever you want. I guess I could make it to where you can click a tile and then it pops up and starts if it's like this. So it's like, oh, if I want to start here, then I'm like, okay, well, I'll click here and then I start. Basically, right? I could do that, where it's like it raises that tile up when I click it, or it raises another one up and puts that one down, but I can't actually, like, draw the line. I think the thing I don't like about that color-wise is I feel like if I'm going over it this way, it should also set the to be that color as well. Like that should do that. I could make it to where you click to start the thing, I guess, but yeah, that looks better. So I have to test that out on ones that have to be off. See what it looks like. Come on, camera. You can do it. Oh, these don't look lined up right. What's going on here? They look kind of strange. Oh, because, yeah, they're scaled up on these. I'll just have to fix that. Okay, so that needs to be like this, only if it's not off, basically. If, god damn it. If, let's see, current state, x plus width times y is equal to 0, or is equal to 1, rather, then we do that. If not, then we just leave the center the same. Anyway. But yeah, these will have to be adjusted a bit, just because the way that they're supposed to work. It looks weird when they're black because it looks like it's off, right? Versus one that's on. Leads me to think that, well, because I haven't decided whether or not these panels actually are going to have like a back to them at all. Like right now they do, like they have a thing behind them, right? But I might not want that. I might just want them to be like floating on whatever they're on. In this case, it would be this collider object, basically. Doesn't look like it'll let me actually move this collision rect. It's not visibly. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether I want them to actually be like a panel that's like a panel, or whether I want them to just be like a visual thing that's overlaid, kind of like in this, right, where it's just overlaid on that thing. Like if it's got a thing behind it, I can put like white around everything, like around the outside edge of stuff, and black around. So like black underneath this one and white underneath this one. So like it's always lit up one way or the other. It's just inversed. That would just kind of require fiddling with the things that I can actually draw, because these guys don't have really a proper color or anything. So instead they'd have to be like a sprite render or something. To be a sprite render, and then be one of these guys, basically. So then it would like look like that, I guess. Doesn't really look right, but I guess it doesn't look right because it's not at 0, 0. So it would look like that on a white one, and then it would look like similar on the other one. It would just be black instead. Wondering whether to do that or not. should just white in that little area in between the spots rather than the whole area, so that it's just like that, sort of. When it's solved. That's probably good just to do that. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. See what that looks like on gray. Or do I even make it black? That's the other question, because it could just be that I make it not black and I just make it nothing. So instead of being black, it's just empty. Seems reasonable to do that. So then we can do like it's being weird. Okay. This is not what I wanted to set anyway. I wanted to set the LSCB color. So we'll just see what that looks like. I feel like those should still have white outlines though. looks okay. I think that'll do. Either way, the game is like playable now again, so it's kind of important. Yeah, it is possible that they need a outline around the whole panel to light up. Just because on these it's... I don't know, it's just not super clear that that's solved. At least I don't think it is. Anyway, let's look at the Trello and see what I've been working on. Okay, I fixed this. I'm gonna add a comment to it though. Seems like the issue was the render target being offset in combination with the projection. Also, it seems like the projection changes slightly when the game is around. Anyway, so that's done. Still doing this. Pretty much done this. Unpressable or unstartable tiles. That's basically done. I don't actually think I need that, so we'll say that that's basically done. But I do need to add fix issue where mouse can be used to press floor panel tiles. Okay, I got the art one too. It's done basically. Design. I'm kind of doing that. I need something here though. I need to come up with a good visual distinction between floor panels and wall panels. Okay. I think I am pretty much done for today with this all. It's been fun. We got some good work done. We have a, even though it's not totally bug proof, it's totally possible now to do almost all of the puzzles in the game. Oh, that reminds me, I've got one more thing that needs to go into this. I need to add fix bug. Well, let's see, fix interaction with solid wall puzzles. So, but otherwise, like, I mean, this will end up being a puzzle where you can only start here, but, well, here. But otherwise, it works. These guys need to get fixed so that I can toggle them. And then all the puzzles in the game will be solvable again, at least from a technical perspective. Like I said, I gotta fix that to where that's not interacting, and I gotta fix these to where you can interact with them. I'm not sure exactly whether this is like the best thing for these visually, because kind of the way these are gonna work is a little different, in that it's a panel where you solve it and then it turns into walls. So like the stuff that's not a tile, then you can walk through. Like I said, I don't know exactly what's the best way of doing that, but I gotta work on that. So right now you can't even solve it at all. You can't even toggle any of the tiles. But anywho, so thanks everybody for coming out. Anybody who stuck through to the end, particularly, I thank you. If you enjoyed watching me work and struggle with Unity, then be sure to follow the channel if you're not already. And I hope you have a good afternoon or evening or morning or day wherever you are in the world. Hope you're having a good time, and I will see you around on the internets.